Hi, Rio Grande Valley. Today I want to talk about exercising outdoors. Now, one of the things about the Rio Grande Valley, and I've been around since, actually I was born and raised here, graduated in 1992, and I've seen the transition in the valley. And one of the things that we've seen probably in the last 10, maybe going back as far as 15 years, is the use of bike trails. We've seen bike trails along 2nd Street. We've seen bike trails, in McCall, different parts in different cities. And really, people have really started to take advantage of that and make sure that they're getting exercise, make sure that they're using it as a way to disconnect from whether it's their computer, whether it's their iPhone, whatever it is, and just get out there and be healthy and get some fresh air. With that has come a transition, and if you travel to any other larger cities, they're used to it. Not only is the person who's exercising, the person, this is someone who's running, this is someone who's biking, this is someone who's going for a walk. Not only are they used to and accustomed to traffic, but also the traffic is used to and accustomed to seeing them. So there's fewer problems and fewer issues, fewer injuries. But one of the things that we want to do is just keep in mind and remind everybody to be aware of their surroundings. What's very important, whether you're biking or running, is to know the rules. Know when you're supposed to cross. One of the things that we've seen and very common is there on the crosswalk. Know when you have the right of way. The other thing, if you're a bicyclist, make sure that you know the rules in terms of that you're supposed to be traveling with traffic. Make sure that you give everybody enough time if you're going to make a left-hand turn or a right-hand turn. Also, some basic and very simple safety rules and tips. Always wear your helmet if you're on a bicycle. In the event you're in an accident, it greatly minimizes, in terms of the damage or in terms of the injury that you may sustain. And you want to take every step necessary to be able to do that. The other thing, if we get up, and if I've been, on my way to the airport, trying to catch that 6 o'clock flight to Houston, there's a great chance you're going to find one or two, or maybe a group of bicyclists, there on 10th Street, there on 2nd Street. And it's a great way to get exercise. It's a great way to beat the crowd, but also make sure that you have the proper gear on, and that whoever is driving, that they have sufficient time and there's sufficient warning with enough reflection, enough lighting, so that they're able to take the appropriate steps and just stay out of your way. The other thing is that's become, in terms of, let's talk about with like joggers, the other thing that's important is technology is taking over. Nowadays you've got earbuds and you've got wireless, and so that's become more and more common. So people are typically going to travel or typically going to exercise with some sort of music, some kind of or a podcast or something to that effect. Make sure, I can't say don't do it, it's a common deal. Just make sure that it's at an appropriate level to where you're familiar and you understand your surroundings, and you can anticipate traffic, and you can anticipate vehicles kind of crossing in front of you, or make sure that they see you. The other thing is that I found and I've talked about with friends is most of the time the people that are out there, that are on the bike trails, that are on the streets, the runners, the joggers, especially the ones that do it on a regular basis, they're already familiar with these rules. But what they have to do, and what you have to do, and I would ask you to do, is to keep in mind, you're familiar with the rules, but are they familiar with the rules? Is that person in that car familiar with the rules? And not only are they familiar with the rules, but are they paying attention? So you've got to make sure that you're focused and you're aware of your surroundings, but also anticipate others that are out there, and make sure that you're in a position to be able to protect yourself, to be able to get out of the way, to make sure that when you're crossing, make eye contact with the driver to make sure that person. It's very difficult. I've seen people walk, use the phone, and text. I would not recommend that at all. I don't think I've ever seen a jogger out there. I've never seen a bicyclist out there. But you've got all these guys still, despite all the warnings, you've got all these, people who are maybe putting on makeup, maybe, trying to get the kids to settle down, maybe trying to text that last minute message. And so they may or may not see you. And I just want you to be aware of that and understand and anticipate that. Thank you very much.